Nicola Sturgeon's SNP has been mocked by a leading commentator after the party confirmed it will vote down Brexit in the House of Commons. SNP Westminster leader Ian Blackford announced on Sunday afternoon that the party will oppose Boris Johnson's post-Brexit trade deal when it goes to a vote in Parliament next week. The SNP chief, who has also been an fierce opponent of a no-deal Brexit outcome, branded the historic trade deal an unforgivable act of economic vandalism, and claimed it would be a disaster for Scotland. Writing on Twitter shortly after it emerged the SNP would not support the trade deal, royal commentator Dickie Arbiter claimed the Scottish nationalists were living in La La Land and urged the party to finally honour the result of the 2016 EU referendum. In a scathing assessment, the former press secretary to the Queen from 1988 to 2000 also pointed to the vast sums of money sent by the Westminster government to the devolved administration north of the border. Mr. Arbiter, 80, said, "Well, the SNP wouldn't they? When are they going to leave La La Land and accept it was the UK that voted for Brexit? The last time I looked it up, Scotland was still a part of the UK. Interesting isn't it? They want Westminster cash handouts." A recent report by the National Audit Office found spending in Scotland is actually higher than the UK average. Treasury figures from 2019 show spending on public services per head in Scotland was £10,881 compared to the UK average of £9,350. The Prime Minister secured a landmark trade deal with the EU on December 24, just 7 days before the official end of the Brexit transition period. The treaty, worth more than £600 billion the UK economy, allows the frictionless trade of goods and services between the UK and Europe from January 1. MPs will return to Parliament on December 30 to scrutinise and then vote on the 1,246-page agreement. The treaty is expected to sail through the House of Commons as the Tories have an 79-seat majority and Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer has reluctantly backed the agreement amid fears over the alternative of no deal. In his criticism, Mr. Blackford conceded the deal will pass through the Commons regardless of how the SNP will vote. He said, "Boris Johnson's extreme Tory Brexit is an unforgivable act of economic vandalism and gross stupidity, which will cause lasting damage to the economy and leave the UK much worse off at the worst possible time, during a pandemic and economic recession." With the Labour Party lining up behind Boris Johnson, it is clear Westminster will impose this hard Tory Brexit regardless of how Scotland votes, but it is not being done in our name. It is a disaster for Scotland.